Hey, I'm Michael.
And I'm Stephanie.
And welcome to Entrepreneurs Next Door,
A podcast about parenthood, relationships, and entrepreneurship.
Where each week we share our journey on how we navigate life as an entrepreneur family. All right, so welcome to episode number 2 of Entrepreneurs Next Door. We are so excited to be here. I think episode number 1 went really well.
Yeah, it did. I was so happy and excited to see everyone share us on your social media. So thank you for that. Everyone who liked our video on YouTube, who commented. It was pretty cool to see that people were actually like watching us.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much to everyone that commented and shared the video. And you can also subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube and on Spotify so that you can stay connected and get the notifications when we post our next episode, which is going to be every Saturday.
Yes, every week we'll be posting a new video, so make sure that you subscribe so you know when we post. Yeah. So in today's episode, I will be interviewing Michael and kind of get to know his journey on how he started his entrepreneur journey, you can say. And so I have a couple questions prepared for you. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Excited? Nervous?
A little nervous.
Okay, let's get right into it. Let's see. So the first question I have for you is, what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'd have to say it's my parents. You know, growing up, I saw them start their business, and they actually own a tax preparation business here in Dunellen. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, just seeing everything that they've done, just talking to them about entrepreneurship, it's kind of just growing up. That's kind of all I heard and knew was entrepreneurship.
Nice. And so that inspired you.
For sure.
Nice. And what was that like growing up in your parents' business? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I can recall a couple things. Like, I spent a lot of time like in the business itself. Like, so they own a brick and mortar, tax preparation office, and so I would literally, like, when I was really young, I would sleep under my dad's desk. Right, my dad had like a big wooden desk, like old school, like really big. And so I would fit right under the desk and had my like blanket under there.
That's crazy.
And sleep under there. Yeah. I remember he had a safe, like a big safe, and I would just play with it and try to crack the code.
Wow. So you just been there all day.
Yeah. Like customers would be like
on the other
side, and I would kind of like knock and like scare them.
Oh my goodness!
I literally slept under there.
Wow.
And definitely, I mean, the busy season, right? It's tax season, which is like January to like April,
and it gets hectic.
Yeah, so tons of clients coming in, and like that's where I spent most of my time in the office, and watching everything how they ran their business, right? And I think it was also things that I absorb. Like, I find myself doing things that I remember just seeing and just being in that environment so much, kind of just like rubbed off on me, right? Just like subconsciously just learned a lot of things, seeing my mom sell stuff. Like, they also had like a little shop, right? So little knickknacks, sold like calling cards, like back in the day.
Oh, the payphone card.
Yeah.
That's what it was?
Yeah, right? Stuff like that. So just seeing them just do all these little things within the business and how they really hustled and grinded. And they didn't just do the taxes. They did everything you can imagine within a little. And it was really tiny.
Yeah.
The other thing I can remember is I walked by there because I also have my business now in Dunellen. So I walked by the other day, and it's literally the size of a closet. Like, it's very small, right? I don't know if we walked by there yet.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's really small. I mean, it might be the size of this room. Like,
wow.
Really small. But from what I remember, since I was so little, I remember it being this huge thing, right? So it's crazy. Seeing it now.
And now that you mentioned that, I think of Sophie, just because Sophia, now that she goes to the school, you're right. Like she picks up a lot of things. Like the other day, she was playing with her. She has like her little desk and her laptop, and she was like, "Hi, welcome to Warrior. Like, are you here to see Mr. Byron, which is your instructor?
Yeah.
Or Coach Nick, which is your brother, who's sometimes there too."
Yeah.
So, they, you know, as a kid, being in your parents' business, like they do absorb a lot of
I think
stuff.
Yeah, the environment that you're in has a huge impact on you know what you do later on in life, or the experiences that you have. Like Sophia, like instead of calling her classmates she calls them her customers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, she did that.
Right. So it's just like natural, right? Innocent, just because seeing us interact and be there. Yeah,
that's cool. So how old were you when you opened up your first business? And what was it?
Yeah, so I mean, seeing my parents do kind of everything in one little business, like that was just my I just wanted to try everything. Like anything that I ended up liking, I wanted to start a business around it, right? Okay. Since I was like young. So the very first bit, like I was always into music. So like as soon as I was able to join the band in school, like the school band, I was like 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. I was like the first one to sign up, and I fell in love. Like I learned how to read music, and I always had a good ear for music. So music was always my thing growing up. And so through the years, I found, and I don't know exactly how I found it, but I found DJing. Right. I think I saw just someone at a Sweet 16 that we might have gone to or something. Yeah. Saw the DJ, saw what he was doing with the turntables. Yeah. And connected with me because of the music, you know, just fell in love with it. And so my first business, which was actually like official business, because I had other little things when I was younger, but 16 was like my first official business. And I think my dad even like registered the business and everything. And it, like, made it this whole official thing. But it was a good experience, right? It was DJing like Sweet 16s and weddings, and one of my first gigs was actually a wedding.
Oh my goodness!
My cousin entrusted in me to DJ
her wedding,
to DJ his wedding. Yeah, so. And it was a good experience because it was just my family there, but it was at an actual big venue. If anyone is local, it was at the Bridgewater Manor, I think. Oh. So it's like a nice big venue. Yeah. Like, you know.
And how did you feel like, because you said you were 16. Yeah. And at 16, I feel like you're like doing, like playing with your friends, doing things that are like not like starting a business. So how was that day for you where you're like, this is like my first day at my job?
Yeah, again, like going back to the parenting thing and like your environment, like that's just like who I was. That's I knew I wanted to do that, right?
Were you like serious about it? You're like, this is my business. Like, were you like serious, or you're like, oh, this is like a hobby, or I'm excited to see where this goes?
Like no one had to force me to do it. Like it was all me. Like I was all in. I just love starting a business and running the business, even though, like, you know, I was really young, so I didn't do everything correctly. Like I don't remember, you know, doing my books or something like that, you know, like it was registered and stuff, and
but you took it in mentally. You were like, this is my business. And
I took it totally serious. You know, I had business cards and like t-shirts and, you know, the whole nine, like created a website by myself. So like, the entrepreneurship, like the journey of an entrepreneurship, like I feel like you have to be either born with it or again, have that type of mindset, influence, right? And again, my parents were my biggest motivation and influence, seeing them just naturally, that's what I wanted to do.
And so when you started that business, is that when like you realized like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life? Maybe not DJ, but I want to be a business owner. I want to work for myself. Is that when you kind of like, I know you're young because you were only 16, but is that like when you realized, okay, I'm going to be a business owner?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I never thought anything else. Like I had jobs, as soon as I could work, maybe like 15. I worked at like TJ Maxx, like American Eagle, like retail stuff. Worked at Crunch, but I always knew that that was just my savings to put back into my business. Okay. Right. I was still running my business as I was picking up these gigs because the DJing was good because it was a weekend gig. So it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I could work throughout the week and stuff and still go to school and all that. Right. So, and yeah, like a lot of my friends, right, they would, want to go out and stuff. And a lot of times it was just, or when I was younger, like I wanted to go out and play with my friends, but sometimes I really just couldn't because like my parents needed I needed someone to watch me and stuff. So I spent a lot of time at my parents' even though sometimes I wanted to play with my friends, but it just happened that sometimes I had to go to the office as well. But again, I loved every minute of it, and yeah.
Yeah. Aside from your DJ, I know you had another business like work because now you own a martial arts school. So when did you like get into the martial arts? When did you like start your martial arts school? Because you own a school now.
Yeah. So, I DJ'd since I was 16 all the way till maybe when we met, right? So like 25, because I was also doing like clubs and nightclubs and stuff like that. Yeah. So DJing was always my passion, but when I started martial arts when I was young as well, I started martial arts when I was like 6. Oh, okay. Right, and I did martial arts all my life. I might have taken like maybe a year or two off. I don't know, when I was like 12 or something, but yeah, I at the same time that I was doing DJing, I was still doing martial arts
as a hobby or
right, just like competing and stuff like that. Okay. And then I think at the same time that I started my DJ business, I got my first opportunity to start teaching within the martial arts. Because within the martial arts, like once you become a black belt, there's kind of 2 paths, right? You can continue to compete, or you can decide that you want to share what you've learned, share your knowledge with others, and become an instructor. Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I had the opportunity, and that was also my passion to eventually become an instructor. Right. I had got my black belt in 2008, I think. So when I was like 16, I got my first like real opportunity to become an instructor. I think when I was like 16, 17, I started like getting paid as an instructor. But yeah, around that time, I got the opportunity, and there was and then I also got the opportunity to start my own school.
At what age?
And that was when I was 19, 20, between 19 and 20, like officially. Because at one point I was like, became like head instructor and stuff, but 19, 20, I ended up, getting the opportunity, to open up my own school. And so at that point I kind of had to decide, which one I really wanted to do and what I wanted to do kind of for the rest of my life. Right. And I ended up focusing more on the martial arts. And I think the main reason is what martial arts did for me as a kid. I've always been really shy, like not too confident, right? And so martial arts was like my go-to place where I can shine, right? I can be a star. I can inspire others. Being an instructor taught me how to speak, right? Taught me how to be confident and lead and be a leader and all that stuff, right? Bully prevention and everything that martial arts offers. I love what it did for me as a kid. And so I wanted to inspire other kids to be able to help them do the same, right? Okay. And so that's really the reason why, I picked to go with the martial arts.
And you started your first school at
the first school was at 20.
Okay. And so when you started your own school and you told your parents, like, you know, because in a Hispanic household, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can identify, like, your parents want you to go to college just because, and, you know, like for me, my mom, she came to this country and, you know, they come from their own countries and they want just better for their kids. That's why they come here. And so they think like, okay, you need to go to college and become like I don't know, like a doctor, a lawyer, you know.
Yeah.
And that's like everybody's parents' dream. And so when you told your parents like, you know, I'm gonna be a business owner, I want to do a martial arts school, what was their take on that? Like, did they support you, or were they more like, no, like, even though we're business owners, we still want you to go to college? Like, how was that?
Yeah, so I think till this day, my parents still want me to go to college. No lie. And it's because of what you said, right?
Yeah.
It's just like coming to this country, like, you know, that's kind of like the goal is to get your kids to go to college
To do better.
and do something better. And it's funny because they've done really well in their business. But in their mind, like going to college and getting a career, one will do even better, right?
Yeah.
And that, you know, may be the case. Like if you become like, you know, I always believe like the classic, like you go to college for things that you need to go to college for, right? So you go to college to be a doctor, you go to college to be a lawyer, an engineer, right? And of course, those are very well paying jobs, and yeah, you can be very successful in that as well. But to be a business owner, to be a martial arts school business owner, you don't need to go to college. You need knowledge, right? Which I think just my parents have not seen that knowledge is available and out there from other school owners that are successful. So I invest a lot in coaching, right? So I have my business coaches, I have martial arts school business coaches, I'm in a mastermind. And so being in that environment and learning from other people that have done it already and have been successful in the martial arts arena and other businesses as well, is where I've been able to pick up a lot of knowledge and be able to apply that to my business and help my business grow and get to where I am today. Right. But again, where our parents see it is that the only place you go to get knowledge is college. Right. Yeah. And that's the only option. So yeah, till this day, my parents always kind of throw shade that I
but
didn't
you
go.
did go to college.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
I ended up just doing it for them, just to kind of like bring home a certificate, and my dad has it in his office.
I think didn't you tell me you like didn't go to your college? Was it graduation?
Yeah, no, I didn't do the whole walk and stuff. Like it's just, you know, I
just wanted the certificate.
Yeah, I really just and I did my last class while I was a school owner already. So I did it was like I had to do like a Thursday night like 2-hour class for like 3 months. Because that was the only one available. And that was the only class that I was missing. That was kind of like the only thing that was holding me back from getting my degree. And I just got an associate's in, I think it was just like associate's in business. Yeah, okay. That's what it was. Associate. So like a 2-year degree. But it's also too, because my mom went to college. She in Peru, where they're from. She is a teacher. So she went to college 4 years to be a teacher, and my dad to be an accountant, right? And so even though they became entrepreneurs, they also had that experience with college and know the value of college. So yeah.
Do you feel like because you only went to college, you got your 2 years degree, and then you went straight to your business, do you feel like you missed out on something like in college? Like, do you feel like, oh, maybe I should have kept going because I'm missing, college in my business, or what I learned from college I could apply to my business? Because I know nowadays a lot of people, times are different, right? Like college is a lot of people don't want to go to college because you can learn these skills and these abilities from not going, right? It's different for everyone. Everyone can choose what they want. But do you feel like you missed out on something that you could have learned, or do you feel pretty content with like your decision that you made?
Yeah, I feel like for what I'm doing, like being a martial arts school business owner, like a local brick and mortar business owner, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. Like I said, the skills that I've learned to be a successful school owner have come from masterminds and coaches. And the other thing is, like, when you own a business, you also don't necessarily want to, like, you want to have knowledge and a little bit of knowledge in every single area of your business, but not have to do all of it, right? The goal is not to work in your business, it's to work on your business. Right? And so the way that you work on your business is to, learn about those things, but then hire someone even smarter than you, right, to do it and to help the business grow, right? Because if you're always working in your business, then you're never going to actually have that freedom that you wanted to. And the reason why most people start their businesses, they leave their 9 to 5 to start a business, but end up working in their business and not on their business, right? And so you end up just in the same place you were if you were working a 9 to 5. So yeah, it, like, within a business, it's also important to hire people that are smarter than you, so that they can help you take the business to the next level as well.
And so now that you have your business and your goal is to kind of leave your business running by itself so you can enjoy other things in life, what would you like, once you leave, or what's the goal of like your business? What do you want people to remember you as, as like Mr. Lujan, like he left us with this and this and this? Like what would you like your students to kind of like say about you? I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so specifically for like my students, yeah, like I said, the reason I started the martial arts was because it helped me grow in many areas, like helped me have perseverance, and a lot of the lessons that I learned to never give up have helped me tremendously in life in general. And so, yeah, that's what I hope for my students, right, is to, teach them the life skills that have helped me grow, and also use the business as a platform to maybe one day help them get into the martial arts business and make it a career, open up more schools, right? And yeah, leave a legacy.
Yeah, cool. And one of the last questions. Now that we have kids together, we have Sophie and Mikey, what would you like them to do? Because you came from entrepreneur parents, you own a business. Is there like a way that, okay, I want my kids to go to college, or I want my kids to own their own business, or what advice would you give to your kids when it comes that time where they're like, hey, Dad, like, I don't know what I want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would always tell my kids to do what they love, right? Like, if they do want to go the college route and like become a doctor, then, I'm all for it. Like, I'm not against, going to college in general. It's just not for business. If they want my support with opening up their first business, then, we're going to be there for them. It's, whatever's going to be best for them and whatever's going to make them happy. And that's what I love about my parents. And I'm glad you brought that up about them inspiring me to start the business, is that they showed 100% support on any venture that I wanted to do, right? So when I switched from DJing to martial arts, when I had a martial arts school and then ended up opening up a whole different martial arts school, they were always there for me. So that's also what I hope for our kids, is that we are always going to be there for them and really just support them in everything. Right? Yeah.
I think it's also pushing them, not like in a negative way, but encouraging them to do what they want to do and try new things. Because when I hear your stories all the time, or when we're with your parents, they tell you, the story and how, they just supported you on like everything you wanted to do. And so think that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And so last question, what would you tell yourself, like your younger version of yourself, when you first started your first business at the age of 16, and now, like, what would you tell yourself now that you're older and, you know, you're 5, how many years has it been that you owned your martial arts school?
Martial arts, like 10.
So now that you've owned it for 10 years, like, what would you tell younger Michael at 16? Any advice?
Yeah, to be honest, I would say to gain more experience in the field working for someone else. Because I started my business just out of, you know, pure excitement, and like I just wanted to start it right away. But I think the smarter thing would have been to go work for someone else that already had an established business, to absorb and learn as much as you can from that person, like a mentor. Right? I think having a mentor is very important, which is why I invest in coaches. You know, my dad was definitely one of my biggest mentors, my mom as well.
Having someone.
Yeah, but having someone in that field that has already done it, I think would have been the more wiser decision than just rushing into and kind of like learning as you go, right? Because that's really what I did, is like learn as I go, and a lot of failures, and took a lot of time to like get things going. And
And is there anything you regret?
No regrets.
In your business?
In my business, no regrets really. I've loved every minute of it. Wouldn't really regret anything. Just, I think that the only thing is to wait, be more patient. Use the younger years while you have more energy, and be smarter with my time, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think always every time, like, of Sophie when I see her at the school, and I think of Mikey and like what you're leaving them with, you know, I think that's pretty awesome that you've built this, and you know, it's for yourself because you did this all by yourself with the help of like your parents and other people, but you did this also, and now that you're 10 years into this, it's so nice to, I bet, like, how do you feel when you see Sophie on the mat, you know, like, and she's, you know, taking class, and I bet that's a really good rewarding feeling to yourself. Do you think, like, what do you feel when you see Sophie on the mat?
Yeah, for sure. It's just like full circle, right? Like seeing her do what I did when I was her age, or actually she's even younger. Yeah, it's just the most rewarding feeling, right? Like, you're right, like having built this and put all the hours and sweat and tears into
now your kids
building
doing it.
Yeah, it's truly a great feeling. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's it, I think, for today's episode. Just getting to know you a little bit better for the people that are watching us.
Awesome. So. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I'm ready to get back at you with some questions. You nervous?
Yeah. It's pretty nervous to like ask you questions too. Yeah. I know these stories.
Yeah.
And I hear them all the time, but you know, it's cool to kind of like be in the position where I'm asking you, so other people could kind of get to know you better.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we were saying on the last episode, we wanted this podcast to be kind of the journey of parenthood, business, and our relationship. And so today we got to learn about like the entrepreneurship side of our dynamic, our relationship, right? And so next week we're going to learn about your side, coming from a different type of background, right?
Yes,
not an entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. And learn how kind of you came up in your life, and learn a little bit more about Stephanie.
Yes, that'll be on the next episode. Like we said, we'll be posting every Saturday, every week. So just stay tuned for that. And, you know, if you guys know of anyone locally or any local business that you guys like, and I guess you could say the Central Jersey area or in Jersey that, you know, you'd like to see on our podcast, comment down below who you'd like us to maybe interview in the future, because that's definitely something that we are thinking of doing. yeah, comment down below.
Yeah, definitely. Share and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Bye, guys.